I've never been a big fan of gambling. When it comes to trivial things such as guessing an outcome of a game or having the right card in my hand, the proverbial ball never bounced my way. In hindsight, maybe that was a blessing in disguise. Perhaps if I was someone who had immaculate luck, I'd be a gambling addict. Instead, I've always stood clear of these sorts of things. I was always told by my family members that gambling addiction runs in my family. My family's from Pittsburgh. Oh, sorry, I meant Pittsburgh. So they were hitting up Rivers Casino pretty regularly. My grandfather, God rest his soul, was a steel mill worker and made pretty solid money. They could have lived a much more luxurious and comfortable life. A bigger house, in a nicer neighborhood, nicer cars, maybe put their children through college. Unfortunately, a lot of their disposable income went to gambling. You see, admittedly, when I was younger, I kind of thought that the idea of losing most of your money gambling was silly. If not silly, a very rare scenario. And I was probably right. However, times have changed completely. It's no secret. We live in a society. A society where people constantly need dopamine hits. A society in which degeneracy is promoted. A society in which mental disorders and addictions are incentivized and promoted rather than diagnosed and treated.
And if they didn't treat you, it's with fake and gay therapy and drugs.
A lot of young men, the main demographic for gambling, are feeling the pain of this absolute shite economy. Good paying jobs, especially ones without a college degree, can be hard to come by in certain areas of the country. And despite all of the virtue signaling out there, men's mental health is still put on the back burner. You throw all of these things together, cheap dopamine addictions, collective feelings of emptiness, and a general lack of economic opportunities, you have a breeding ground for bad habits such as gambling to creep in. Our phones and computers have become mini casinos. Although in-person gambling at casinos, racetracks, etc. is still very popular, we are seeing a huge shift to digital gambling. From 2023 to 2024, online gambling revenue grew 24.6%, while land-based gaming gained just 0.6%. I'm sure this trend will only continue as gambling becomes more widespread and the digital age continues. During the same time frame, sports gambling collectively grew 23.6%, with Americans having legally wagered $147.91 billion on sports in 2024. Experts predict that online gambling revenue will reach $120 billion by 2029. Needless to say, online gambling is an extremely profitable endeavor for companies and investors. It is only becoming more popular, especially as the older population dies out and the newer tech-savvy generation becomes the main participants in the economy. A lot of my friends, along with other people I'm acquainted with, have become addicted to gambling. The addiction levels vary from weekly $5 to $15 bets to hundreds of dollars each week. Some sports bet, while others love in-person casinos. Although it does seem like sports betting is the far more pervasive type of gambling these days, especially among my friends. A lot of people I know fell for those deposit 2 cents and get $2 million in free bets sort of deals. Here are some current gambling promos from February 7th, 2026. I mean, look at this. You've got up to $250 bonus deposit. Bet $10, get $150. Bet $10, get $100. Bet $5, get $200. And then there's a $500 bonus second chance bet with Bet Rivers, whatever the heck that is. Ridiculous, man. People who aren't incredibly informed on economic incentives, and especially psychology, might see no issues with these. But from day one, I've always found these to be fishy and highly predatory in nature. Seriously, I know a lot of people who've fallen for these promos. I haven't even mentioned the special limited time betting deals, like no sweat bets, second chances, safety net bets, bet and get limited time promotions, event specific limited time boosts for big events like the Super Bowl, and profit boosts. Even if the gambling companies lose money from offering these promotions, they are gaining future profits by ensuring their customers become addicted to the thrill. One could even argue that winning a lot of your first few bets could be the worst thing to happen to you. You become under the impression you are quote unquote good at this, and you will continue to chase the highs from your first few wins. I tried explaining this to a few of my buddies, but a lot of them are convinced that they are the ones taking advantage of the system. About 4 or 5 months ago, my girlfriend and I were invited out by a mutual friend to join her and her boyfriend at our local casino. I live 10 minutes away from a pretty big regional casino. Admittedly, it was a pretty nice establishment. New infrastructure, ample parking, good security, but bro, as soon as I walked in, I thought I was in a pure dystopia. First of all, as we were walking in, I could smell a faint smell of cigarettes from the slot machine area. All the casino games and slot machines were very reminiscent of a child's arcade area. We walked past the blackjack tables and everybody was locked in, usually sipping on some alcohol. My girlfriend and I's friend's boyfriend was at the blackjack table all night, sipping on Bud Light or whatever other goy slop beer of that ilk. We walked over and I realized something. All the alcohol they were serving to the blackjack players was completely free. I was disgusted. It was pretty clear the casino was liquoring and boozing these people up so they'd spend even more money than they had originally planned. We then walked over to the bar. Bro, the bar counter had literal slot machines you could play while sitting there. I haven't been that disgusted about something in a long time. Listen, I am a pretty big free market advocate, but even I think these sorts of predatory practices should either be heavily regulated or banned altogether. Something that has severely disgusted me is all of the sellout celebrities we see shilling for gambling. I mean, you can't even watch more than an hour of TV without seeing LeBron James and Kevin Hart, both a billionaire and millionaire respectively, trying to get you to gamble away your life savings on DraftKings. And just to touch on LeBron very briefly, what an absolute pathetic sellout piece of garbage. Bro knows millions of young people look up to him. And what does he decide to do? Sell out his likeness to promote gambling and Hennessy. Both things, keep in mind, he himself doesn't even consume. Shame on LaFraud for not taking up the mantle promoting goodness as someone people regard as one of the best athletes of all time. Anyways, enough LeBron hate. I want all three of you who are realistically going to watch this video to side-eye any celebrity or public figure who shills sports gambling. I could go on for hours and list all of these sellouts and cook them up, but that's not what this video is for. I'm also disgusted with all of these content creators out there happily take a fat check from these gambling companies to show everything I've listed. I understand a lot of these creators need to earn a living, but can't that be achieved by not promoting degeneracy? Almost every sports YouTuber promotes DraftKings, Prize Picks, Underdog Fantasy, and lots more that I can't think of. You've even got big YouTube film reviewers like Chris Stuckman, or Struckman, however his name is pronounced, shilling DraftKings or whatever. It's like, dang bro, don't you already make hundreds of thousands of dollars off your big channel reviewing movies and stuff? There are many examples of content creators selling out to earn a quick buck. But again, I just wanted to make a general point, not make the whole topic of this video about this. I'm not saying all gambling is bad. I know some people who genuinely will just throw $5 or $10 on a parlay every now and then. A few other of my friends like to go to the casino with the boys once a year or so. I see no issue with this. However, I'm a firm believer that awareness is the number one thing people can have to prevent any potential destructive behavior. Just being aware of the facts and how the system truly works can prevent many people from going down the wrong path. Additionally, if you're watching this video and you feel like you have a problem, I highly encourage you to take advantage of the self-exclusion lists that in-person and online betting platforms offer. These platforms are required by law to offer these services. I'm not too familiar with the gambling hotline, but that is definitely an option if you feel like you're cornered and have nowhere else to go. Gambling addiction has one of the highest suicide rates of all addictions, which is sad because there's always a better option than ending it all. There are a lot of great videos here on YouTube that talk about people's experiences in the process of quitting gambling addiction. They all can do a much better job than me explaining it all. I'll link below 2 of my favorite channels. I love their content even though I've never personally gambled. I don't ever sugarcoat it with my bros. I do think gambling is highly degenerate. I'd much rather invest any spare capital I have into Bitcoin or high growth ETFs. We need to be more vigilant than ever about these things because gambling is only becoming more and more popular. Their tactics and antics are only becoming more evil and persuasive. And don't even get me started on prediction markets.